are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
I'm Evan Closky. Yo, that open though. This is awesome.
Pretty cool.
We brought out the money and all the production and all the bells and whistles just for Evan Closky. We are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Odyssey, and on YouTube as well. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays and send us an email, lockedonrays@gmail.com. This episode is brought to you by Spotify Green Room. Download the app and join Ulises and I this week to get in on the Tampa Bay Rays action and conversation. That's Spotify Green Room. All right, it's a Friday, and it's Evan Closky. He's back. He's disappeared for a little bit, but he is back, thankfully.
See, football season's just trying to lure me away, but you guys won't let that happen, and that's why I love you guys.
That's right. Kevin's trying here to get me more into the pigskin, but I'm remaining steady here on the baseball. So we'll see how that goes throughout October.
Can I just throw this out there? What Evan might think of my baseball season radical idea theory?
You know what? I know that he loves football too, but I think he's going to think just like I do, and he's not going to have it at all. But if you want to go ahead and steer us that way, sure.
I'll just start with it and level with me here. The entire MLB season should be concluded, including playoffs, before Labor Day weekend. So it doesn't interfere with college football nor the NFL, because that is what is occupying our minds right now.
So you want like an 82-game season?
I did the math a little bit. So, okay, you start spring training the day after the Super Bowl. You can get 100, 110, 115, 120 game season in there. The entire month of August, for the most part, would be dedicated towards playoffs.
I would have to do the math on that.
Right.
I mean, like, I get it. Like, it makes tons of sense from just a black and white standpoint. And I do maybe tend to agree that 162 games seems a bit of a heavy number, even though MLB will never capitulate on that because their regional sports networks are making a killing on that number. Having said that, present me a plan.
Okay.
I want it more fleshed out.
I'll give you a 20-page bullet by bullet PowerPoint. I'll get with man
PowerPoint. I need bullets and I need word art. All right. I want word art, and I need like the little I need a dancing guy in the top left corner. All right. I want no stone unturned here. Okay. If you're going to present this plan and I'm going to be open-minded about it, you better bring the thunder.
Evan, I'm going to have Kevin's people talk to your people. Intern McGee.
Yeah.
Intern McGee. I'll get Intern McGee later on for him to get, all those contact information. Yeah.
Evan's getting fancy here because we've upgraded from crappy Zoom audio and video to this YouTube restream production.
Yes.
So one step at a time with all this. Evan, it's been a while since we've had you on. I mean, it seems like you're coming back from vacation, and then you had the Bucs Thursday night game. A lot of things going on, of course. But level of concern right now for the Rays after coming off this road trip, going 4-5, particularly some struggles against the Tigers and the Blue Jays. Where do you sit with this Rays team right now?
I don't know if there's a level of concern. I would say that the bullpen is regressing to the mean. You have to understand that when you are playing at the MLB best for 2 months there, and arguably for the entire season up until the past 3 weeks or so, that there's going to be a regression. You just hope the regression doesn't happen in the playoffs. So in my eyes, let's get this out of the way now and hope that things turn for the better once you hit the postseason. But, I mean, this unit as a whole has been overperforming. Okay, so let's go to the Detroit series, right? Like Kittredge, I guess he blows one, but that was a whole – I mean, he had to clean up a mess too. Kit was like – I mean, the guy is unbelievable this whole year. He's like the MVP of the team. It's like
Right.
about time that he had a bad game. You know, you're tinkering with Daniel Robertson out there, a guy who hasn't been in the MLB the entire season and was, playing for Team USA. We can go through everybody. I mean, you had Armstrong out there who got waived by the Orioles, and you're throwing him out there hoping for the best. So a lot of this whole season has been plug and play, and the plug and play has been working. So just because it hasn't been working for the last few weeks doesn't discount the larger sample size of when it was working. So am I happy about it? Do you like seeing it? Absolutely not. Am I concerned? No, because the team has 90 wins and they're the best record in the AL. So if you're not, like, you can't amplify the concerns without amplifying the success. And I don't hear anybody complaining when the team went on 2 separate runs where they were unbeatable. So that's the whole thing. It's just, you have to weigh the good and the bad. And right now is the bad, but there has been a lot more good than bad. So, no team is perfect. Even the Dodgers, even the Giants have hit rough patches. The thing is about the Giants, the Rays, the Dodgers, these teams don't have really big rough patches. And right now the Rays are doing what they have to do. They don't have to play extraordinary baseball. They just got to play average baseball. They took one in Toronto. That's all you needed. That's all you need. All right, Detroit, you got to take 2. You got to take 3. If you take 2, that's okay. But you want to clinch the AL pennant in the Trop. You don't want to go on the road and do this thing. So to me, you have your magic number is down to 8 and 9 for the AL pennant. So by the time that Miami's in town, you want that number around 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
Follow up. The Rays and the Blue Jays, say they met today in the ALDS. Who would win that series?
I mean, the Blue Jays are hot. So, I mean, it's easy for me to go the Blue Jays right now because they've won 16 of their last 19.
I believe so.
And they're averaging like 7 runs per game over that stretch. I mean, the hitting is phenomenal. I don't know if Berrios' injury is super serious, but Berrios and look, the Rays don't hit lefties. So that's the other problem is that, you face Robbie Ray or Ryu in the playoffs and the Rays would be in trouble. But, having said that, the Rays are also one of 3 – I don't want to say teams. I don't know the other 2 times. It could be the same team. But 3 times the Blue Jays have been shut out this year. The Rays are one of them. And Rasmussen was a guy who I'm really bullish on. I know we'll talk about him. But, I think that would be a series where I lean the Blue Jays winning it. But I don't think it would be like a sweep or anything. I see that going like the full length.
I have to say I agree with you with the concern. Like there's no. I'm 100% with you. But if we want to shift the concern to a particular player, to Ryan Yarbrough, Kevin the other day put out some really important stats out there he's the 4th pitchers, or at least starter or bulker, that has as many innings as he does, which is over 136 innings, that has the highest ERA. He's rated 4th in there. We know that the arbitration didn't go so well for him and the Rays this past season. Are we seeing the last of Ryan Yarbrough with the Rays? What's your take on Ryan Yarbrough's immediate future, aka an ALDS roster construction with or without him, and or 2022?
I'll say I don't want Yarbs touching the ball in the playoffs right now. He's not good enough. It's just he's had moments and stretches where he's done all right, but this entire season his one job has been to eat innings. That's it. That's been his job. And I hate leaning on the stats too heavily because Cash lets him die out there. When he pitches and he pitches poorly, Cash pretty much says, hey, we need you to eat innings. I don't care how ugly this gets. Please keep going. Right. So his ERA is inflated mostly because his manager leaves him in to get blasted when he doesn't have his best stuff. And, to that, I commend him because he's a punching bag sometimes on nights that he doesn't have it. And a lot of nights he does not. And sure, there are stretches where he has, but I can't tell you when he has it and when he doesn't. The Rays have tried the opener. They've tried starting him. They've tried putting him in all these different positions for him to succeed. And just when you think that maybe he's turning a corner, there it goes.
Yeah.
So I can't deal with that inconsistency in the postseason because you got one shot. It's like rolling a die and having you have your 6 numbers and 1 and 2. If you roll it, is going to be a great outing, and the other 4 are going to be bad. Like, would you take that risk? Would you roll that die? I wouldn't, because still, if I'm Erik Neander, who is an extremely intelligent guy and who, where my opinion matters much less than his, I still like Shane Baz. I want Shane Baz up here. I would love for him to get a couple of starts underneath his belt, and let's run him into the playoffs. Because for me, I have McClanahan. I have Rasmussen, who is a must right now. And then, obviously Patino. But there's going to be a bullpen day in there as well. And I would actually prefer Patino to kind of pitch in that situation where he gets maybe 4 innings and you cobblestone it together. Walker's a guy who I can throw out there maybe once through the order if he doesn't ever touch the cutter, stop. It's very clear the cutter doesn't work. And I think against the Blue Jays threw it like 7 times, and one of the times Vladdy ripped a double. It's like, how many times you got to throw this cutter before you realize it's not a good pitch. So, I'm not gonna say that Waka's turnaround is not true because he had a rough outing against the Blue Jays where a lot of pitchers are right now. But I feel more confident with Waka right now than Yarbs, which is saying something.
Yeah. You couldn't have said that a month ago. Couldn't have said that a month ago.
Yeah, Yarbrough's the new Waka, I guess, in a way. You're looking at a 5.27 ERA in 138 in 1/3 innings. And we mentioned this on the show this week, Evan, about Ryan Yarbrough. He's had 10 start/appearances where he's given up 5+, at least 5 earned runs. Yeah. I wouldn't put him anywhere near. You're facing the Red Sox. You're facing the Blue Jays. You're facing a team that's righty power heavy. Oh no! Don't throw him anywhere. Maybe if you got a string of lefties on at the plate, maybe throw him in there for a couple batters. But I would not be working him all that long. His stuff just isn't that good.
And it's not crisp. You just see it. It's just like dancing in there, like floating in. It's just
every pitch is like a 9-pitch at bat, 10-pitch at bat.
You can't put them away. You can't do that now in the major leagues in 2021. You got to put guys away.
Ulises, I think what Yarbrough needs, maybe something that might help him out, Built Bar. Maybe that gives him a little bit of a lift for the rest of the season.
Well, I don't know what kind of flavors he would like because there are just so darn many with Built Bar. You've got coconut, raspberry, mint, brownie, salted caramel, cookies and cream. They've got even orange, Kevin. They're amazing. Of course, you know that my favorite is peanut butter brownie. I cannot get enough of that. But if you don't know which one to choose, guess what? You can get a mixed box. You can get 2 of each of the 9 flavors, and that's just great. Let's check out the macros here, too. 17 to 18 grams protein. Calories are ranging from 130 to 180. Only 4 to 5 grams sugar. Only 4 to 5 grams net carbs. Amazing flavors. They're all tasty. They're all healthy. So what you need to do today is use that promo code LOCKED15. That's LOCKED15 when you go to built.com and get yourself some really healthy and delicious all chocolate made bars today. Again, built.com, promo code LOCKED15.
Evan, you alluded to it. When it comes to the playoffs, and assuming that the Rays have that spot in the ALDS, who do you roll out for Game 1? Is it Shane McClanahan? Is it Drew Rasmussen? Is it a combination? Is it a bullpen day? Is it a combination of other guys? What if you're Kevin Cash and you have that decision? Of course, there's going to be factors like what is the complexion of the lineup and the strengths and weaknesses of said lineup. But just based on what we've seen, really, the last couple weeks and maybe since the All-Star break with those two and maybe somebody else, who are you rolling out there? Okay, this is our ace. We don't have Tyler Glass now. We don't have Charlie Morton. You got to roll somebody out there for game one. Who's it going to be?
This sounds crazy. I think the person who gets rolled out there is Shane McClanahan.
Okay.
I personally am rolling out Drew Rasmussen. Since August 12th, all right, and that's when he became a starter. Since August 12th, 27 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts. He's given up 17 hits, 5 walks, 4 earned runs. And he just pitched 5 shutout against the Blue Jays, which is, the barometer of probably the best hitting team in baseball right now. The Rays are pretty darn good themselves.
At their place. Their place, too.
Yep, in their house. So, to me, I just playoffs are all about the hot hand. And no matter what, you just, last year, even with the Rays tinkering, they still had Snell, Glasnow, and Morton. They're not going to have that this year. I'm very interested to see how they navigate this because postseason is still defined by pitching. It just is. You got to ride the hot hand. And right now, at this point, Rasmussen is hot. So if we're talking about and McClanahan's hurt. So McClanahan can come back and, we just have a larger sample size from him. So he's a bit more dependable in that route. Not like he's a veteran or anything. He's also going through this for the first time. So, that's why I kind of want Boz up too, because to me, his stuff is great. He might just not even understand the propensity of the moment. That he just might, sure, what do I have to lose? So, for me, I go Rasmussen game 1, McClanahan game 2, Patino game 3, and then I string it together in game 4 with probably starting Waka for 2 or 3 innings, maybe one time through the order, and just tell him, hey, gas it and avoid the cutter and let's ride for a little bit. And Colin McHugh can maybe lead off a game there. Pitch him. You pitch him game 1, and that if you win that game, you keep him in your back pocket for game 4 to kind of go 2 or 3 innings there. Kittredge will also be a guy that goes 2 innings. So there's a lot of options in the back of your bullpen where you have to kind of formulate. Game 1 might be Rasmussen, McHugh, Kittredge. And that might be it. That might be all you got. And you save everybody else. That's a pretty darn good, for me, that's a pretty darn good 9 innings. And then, of course, you got to sit them the next day. So, I don't know who steps in. Is Nick Anderson a thing? Still got to learn about that. A lot of these arms have to come back. And that's why it's so unsettling because you're watching a team that's so good, yet they tinker so much and they have tinkered so much that it's so hard to nail down this is what you're doing. This is what you're rolling out. This is, it's not going to be like that. And the teams preparing for the Rays are also going to be I don't know what they're doing. They've had 90,000 players on the team this year.
Yeah, they've almost gotten 60 players to play in this season.
They're going to call us pretty soon, actually.
They are. I've gotten a text. I thought you got a text from Neander today.
Yeah, Neander, Stu, Peter Bendix, they're all reaching out to me.
Oh, my God, you're so famous now.
No, it's the height. It's what it is.
I've got long fingertips. That's market inefficiency. I can get a lot of spin on the baseball.
Like Pedro.
Yeah.
I do want to say I agree with you 95% of what you just said. I would change just a little bit in my opinion. I think you can tag team Waka and Patino. Take
That's fine.
Three innings at the top from Waka. He does better when he starts than when he goes in relief. And Patino has proven that he actually did pretty good when somebody was opening for him and he could go another 3 or 4 innings. So then you have a good, hopefully 7 innings there. And then you can get a Lewis Head, who did not allow a run in the first inning of the Tiger game, and he's looked pretty good. And I'm telling you, I told Kevin, I I need him on the playoff roster. It's such a good story. He's done so well. I need him to be in the playoff roster. And then bullpen day for Game 4. I feel like that's a way in, like you said, if you use Colin McHugh, Kittredge on Game 1 and you win it, then you can keep them in your back pocket for Game 4 to kind of, I don't know, can you put a Dietrich Enns at Game 4? I don't know.
Maybe Dietrich Enns before Yarbrough. I mean,
right now, yeah. I mean, Dietrich Enns, let's see how he does with the game. Peek behind the curtain. It's Thursday evening, so we don't actually know the results of Friday night's game. But hopefully he pitched well, right, guys? I mean, he pitched pretty well last week.
So are we under the assumption that if Rasmussen is indeed that Game 1 starter,
yes,
the Rays still only roll him out for 4 to 5 innings?
Yes, he'll only pitch 5. If there's one thing we know about the Rays is they're the Rays, right? I mean, we saw what happened with Blake Snell last year. That no matter what, no matter the moment, no matter how great Rasmussen looked against the Blue Jays, only throwing 52, 53 pitches, they are sticking to the plan. You run through the order. You run through the order twice. See you later. So,
52 though. 52.
I'm with you. I am so with you. It is, that's the thing about the Rays, where love them or hate them, because if you want to complain about them, which is fair, look at the results. They win all the time. But the thing is, we as humans, and especially others who are our fans and diehard fans, are emotional. So what do we want to do? Looking good. And I think that's the one thing that I would really like to see in the playoffs. Have a feel for the moment. Have a feel for it. You know what? If you go a little off script, give it a nibble. I want let Rasmussen go out there, throw to a batter. If he gives up a tater, then take him out. If he gives up a single, take him out. If he gives up a walk, take him out. But let him show a weakness. Don't be taking out a guy if he's rolling just because it's his time to come out. I don't like. I think in a large sample size of a regular season, I'm all for it. In the playoffs, I need you to have a feel for the moment. I think that's something that Dave Roberts was struggling with before breaking through last year. And I think that that's something that the Rays need to figure out, because they are so analytically driven. They are such a black and white sort of team in how they structure and how they win, that they don't allow the moment to cloud their judgment, which I'm okay with when they build the lineup, when they pick out their starters, when they have the relievers up there. But if your guy is rolling, let us see, because I know, at least for me, let me just say this as a Mets fan, when Harvey was pitching his game against the Royals and dominating, and Terry Collins put him out there. Now, I said, let him get one batter and see how he does. He gave up the hit. Now, the problem was Terry let him have more than the one batter, and then, they ended up losing that game, a wasted, tremendous Harvey experience. But as a fan, I'm not mad that Terry let him start that inning. I'm mad that he kept him in after he gave him one. But you have to also, I know you want to win and you want to do what's best for the players, but I think everybody around you is going to say the same thing. I don't blame that decision. I'm not he was rolling and then he gave up a home run. I can live with that. I can live with that decision. I can.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But the only thing I'll say this is 52 pitches, 5 innings. He has pitched 74 this year. So I would hope that 74, at least, that'll be the high watermark, because he has done that in the regular season.
Yeah, and I also think, the difference between, I don't disagree. Ride the hot hand, ride Rasmussen. He's only allowed, one walk in his last 14 innings.
Pretty crazy.
His numbers are pretty remarkable, but Shane McClanahan has been that de facto number 1 since the injury to Tyler Glasnow. He also has that postseason experience. He also has been allowed to work 6, on occasion 7 innings.
7 too, yeah.
And I think some of this with, part of the reason we know Rasmussen's kind of on that pitch count and isn't going past 5, some of that might be the 2 Tommy John surgeries and transitioning from reliever to starter. But let's also acknowledge he's only a 2-pitch guy, really, at the end of his fastball slider, where McClanahan, he'll legitimately different offerings.
Yeah.
So I just wonder how they weave in all that. But as of today, I'd go with Rasmussen because it just seems like as much raw talent as Shane McClanahan has, he does make me nervous when he lets in that base runner or he allows a leadoff walk to start an inning, and then he throws a slider in the middle of the zone and it gets crushed, and sometimes it gets got by Kevin Kiermaier or something like that. Like, I feel like an inning can, one mistake from McClanahan can implode that inning or outing.
I will say this to for those who are on Team Shane, Drew Rasmussen is in the first percentile of hard hit percentage.
Yeah,
in MLB, that's not good.
But McClanahan's like
that's not good.
No, not far away. He's actually at 6th. So I get it. They're very similar, but I mean, first, I think it makes me nervous with Drew.
Yeah, I would like to know the breakdown of fly ball, line drive, ground balls. I feel like Rasmussen, maybe they're more two defenders, ground balls, whatever.
Right.
Maybe.
So the defensive alignment might be helping Drew, but again, it's right the hot hand. I think we all agree on that. So, but we'll see. There's still 2 weeks worth of baseball. That's what, a couple of starts each at least.
That is true.
And I just want to say quickly, I got no problems with Shane McClanahan if he pitches. Like it's just the only weird part about McClanahan is for some reason he loves giving up hits with 2 outs. I haven't figured that one out yet.
Yeah, we wouldn't be having this conversation if the Rays had just brought back Charlie Morton. That just a thought, just an idea there. And if Tyler Glasnow did get injured, of course, with all that. Anyway, we'll move along here. Bet Online is your number one spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With a new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, betonline.ag continues to be the number one source for everything football. So head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign today to receive a 100% welcome bonus. You can do that by using the promo code NFL100, NFL, the numerals 100. Bet Online, it is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. We also want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle. That comes to us from DirecTV Stream. DirecTV Stream brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, which means you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. And the best part of it all, there's no annual contract. So stop waiting and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Okay, guys, that Charlie Morton comment I made, I was not trying to take a shot at Erik Neander there. Let me just put that out to bed, put that out to pasture. Evan, the last time we had you on, it was before the news broke, and just kind of want to get your quick take before we have a trivia question here. So the Rays promoted general manager Erik Neander to president of baseball operations under a new multi-year deal. What do you make of this and the timing of this? And you've been around the game a long time. Is he the best executive in all of baseball right now?
So first, I just want to get this out of the way because you asked about it and I want to answer it. Rasmussen, line drive percentage, 24%, ground ball percentage, 46%, fly ball around 30%, and his medium percent hard hit contact on balls batted in play, 45%, hard percentage, 40%. Not what you love to see. But I just wanted to throw that out there. As for Neander, look, I don't think there's any surprise that this happened, especially when you consider what's happening in New York with the Mets and the calamity of mistakes they're making up there. And I mean, Neander at 38 years old is certainly one of the brightest stars in the industry. Say what you will about Stu and the Trop and all the stuff with the 2027 looming. The guy knows talent, especially in the front office. There's a reason why we can pluck all these GMs from other teams with the roots to Tampa Bay. It's a great move, and Tyler Glasnow was on the Chris Rose rotation. I listened to the full hour of that, and we asked him about Neander and Glasnow. I was like, I hope he got a fat Rays. And Chris Rose is like, it's so weird because, it's his job to essentially like maybe trade you in the future. And he just said, the thing about Neander is he's a good dude. He always talks to his players. He's present, acts like he gives a crap. And, it just, you root for a guy like that, this is a bit of a dog-eat-dog world sometimes, and that Neander is one of the good guys. So everything that we kind of see, at least from a media perspective of Neander, really emanates when we hear from the players and that kind of stuff happens, especially for a guy like Glass now, who his time in Tampa Bay, we don't know. We don't know what his future holds. So I thought that was very enlightening to hear about his opinions of Neander and how glowingly he spoke of him. And yes, he is certainly one of the best, if not the best, executives out there. You'd argue that maybe needs a World Series title attached to his name. Having said that, when it comes to the Rays organization, top to bottom, look at the minor league teams this year. They're all crushing it. The talent, I know that right now in the top 100, they're a little bit depleted because they graduated a lot of guys. Right. But they're going to have more coming. Like a guy like Ian Seymour, who's coming up, he's now pitching in AAA with Durham, just had 5 shutout innings the other day. Like they it's just unbelievable the way that they develop pitchers. And that starts at the top. It starts with a guy like Neander, spotting talent, making good trades. And I think we sometimes don't talk about trades when they lose, because it happens, right? I mean, the Cronenworth deal doesn't look great, but it rarely happens. It's always when you do a deal with Tampa Bay, it's always like, okay, how did they screw you? That's how it is.
And with the Mets, your team, it's usually like, how did they get screwed here with this deal?
Matt Dyer in a 10-game hitting streak.
Hey, how about that?
Right. I pushed him so hard after that thing, like on Twitter. I was like, it was really, they traded him for like a bag of balls, and this guy's turning into something. So, if he becomes like, the next Salvador Perez, just make a note of it here that I'm the reason why. I know he's not really catching anymore, so that's
couple things. I think Erik Neander gets along with everybody and is so likable because he went to Virginia Tech and not some snooty Ivy League school, as we see so many baseball executives out there doing. Just throwing that out there. Also, I would give the world to find out what Neander's making. I want to see what he's making. Ooh. I think.
Look, I mean, you look at that 26-man roster right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he makes more than 20 of them.
I think somewhere around that line there.
Who's making more than him? Yoshi?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's doing well with the Pirates, by the way.
Dude, he's killing it. It's stupid. It's stupid. We read his OPS the other day, like 1,000 OPS.
It's crazy. And that's the thing. Like, Neander's been great, if not the best executives in baseball, but you're also going to have your misses too.
Happens to everybody, even if you're the best. Even if you're the best.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing that I talked about with this rough patch that's happening with the Rays, right? Don't talk about the negatives if you aren't going to celebrate the positives in those moments as well. But it just seems like a lot of times things slide and they go, oh, here we go. And then it's like, I don't hear the, oh, here we go. Or like, we're so damn good when they're winning 10 in a row. Like, no one's like, it's always like trying to look through a negative lens. Like, if you're going to be critical, you have to be celebratory.
Well, and I said it this week on my little rant I had. If you're not going to be confident about a team that has the best AL record and has an 8-game lead on the division, in the toughest division in baseball, when are you going to be confident about this team? Like when? Like what else do they need to do for you to be like, okay, it's comfortable? Apparently nothing. Nothing.
It's just to be honest, it's just being a sore loser. You play 162 games. You're gonna there is no team that just sails through it. Like, you know how hard it is to win 100 games in an MLB season, and the Rays are they're gonna get darn close. I mean,
close.
We'll see this 10-game homestand. I mean, if they go 8-2, I mean they're pretty much gonna do it. It's all determined with how they're gonna wrap this up. But they're an amazing team. Yes, we can all talk about
with you
what's going on and the negatives, but they're a great team, and let's not discount the hitting.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too where they very well could win 100 games in the AL East, where you have 4 very legitimate playoff teams. Like, it'd be one thing to be on pace to win 100 games in the NL Central.
Right, thank you.
So, and what they're doing right now, and it was a 9-game, 10-day road trip. You're going
and they went
from
4-5.
Boston to Detroit to Toronto.
2 one-run games. 2 one-run games. One by a walk, and then the other one at Fenway. Like, let's just context matters.
Yeah,
context matters.
Yeah.
I want to end this show on a lighter note.
Little trivia action. Okay.
This trivia question, folks, is brought to you by Austin Holloway.
Okay.
He said, get some fun with the fellas. So here it is. This is from Monday. So the percentages are from Monday. Here we go. 3 Rays pitchers rank in the 95th percentile or better in MLB for hard hit percentage. We were talking about hard hit percentage with Drew Rasmussen and Shane McClanahan. Okay, same thing. Can you name these 3 Rays pitchers that rank in the 95th percentile or better?
And that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
Yeah, as we mentioned, right? Rasmussen's one bad thing.
Bad thing, yes. So, who wants to take the first
I'll
it?
let Evan do the honors. He's had a lot of time to study up between not making appearances on the Locked On Rays podcast.
I mean, I have to go Kittredge is 1.
Kittredge is 1, and incorrect.
Knew it was too obvious to be him. Man, who's got soft contact? Is there like a minimum of innings pitched here? Like, is there somebody that's like pitched like 20 innings?
No, but I can tell you that all of them have seen at least their one relief. You know them. They're
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So not Kitty.
No.
Great nickname.
It is. It is.
I will. Lewis Head.
Strike 2.
Fudge. JP Fireisen.
Strike 3.
Okay. Get educated, Evan.
Oh, are you coming with the heat?
I don't know if I'm going to get all of them, all 3, but I can get 1, I'm sure.
Okay.
Colin McHugh has to be up there.
Colin McHugh, very good. 96th percentile.
Okay. I know this is highly likely incorrect, but I'm going to throw it out there. Peter Fairbanks.
Yes, incorrect.
Okay, good. I was like, I thought about Fairbanks, and
I know.
over him.
Well, I figured, all the walks, he's not really allowing many hits. It's just these walking guys. Chagua.
Strike 2.
Okay, last one, I guess. I mean, unless I get this right. Matt Whistler.
My goodness. Yes, very good. In the 98th percentile. You got 2 out of 3.
Okay.
You got Whistler, you got McHugh, and you need 1 more.
Can I get a hint here?
It's super obvious, and we've talked about him in this episode.
And Lewis Head was already guessed. Correct. Okay.
With McClanahan?
No,
he's right down there with Drew Rasmussen. I will say, oh my gosh, it's Ryan Yarbrough.
It's Yucky Yarbs. Yucky Yarbs gets the call with the 98th percentile.
Well, when you allow 12 hits every outing,
That's unbelievable. I would have never guessed that.
So thank you for Austin Holloway for that question.
Great question. And that's a great note to end on. Before we end, though, Evan, how can people find your work?
Yes, you can head to my Twitter page at Closky WTSP. Hit me up, as I always say, 99% of the time. As long as you're cordial and not cursing, I will respond to you. You can also check us out on 1010bay.com. Not only do we talk about the Rays, obviously it's Buck season. We're talking about, the defending Super Bowl champs. The Lightning, I can't believe it, but they're starting training camp in a couple of weeks. That's crazy. But anything that happens in Tampa Bay with our professional sports teams. By the way, the Rowdies, they just do not lose either. Those guys have been incredible, and like their differential in the past like 7-8 games has been insane. I think they've only given up 1 goal. So just when it comes to your Tampa Bay sports, 10 Tempe is your source for it all, and my inbox is open as far as Twitter goes. Hit me up and let's have some fun discussions.
And I was going to make a point here. Just some quick hitters. Does Florida beat Alabama this weekend?
No.
Does
I will say that they might cover though.
Okay. Does USF beat Florida A&M University?
Yes.
They better, because if not, I need Jeff Scott to leave on Monday.
Okay.
If you can't beat Florida A&M, we got some problems.
Yeah, I need a W. I mean, I don't know much about football, but I remember that's a game you need to win. That's a game that you need to win.
It's a game you're supposed to win, but knowing USF's history under a different coaching staff, they did get rocked by McNeese State at one point. And Florida A&M, I know the punter on that team. He's actually the best punter in the FCS. So the field position game could be difficult for USF, believe it or not. Okay, finally, do the Bucks win this weekend?
Yes, they do, but they do not cover. I think 31-24 is going to be the final score. They're favored about by 12.5. And remember, every Sunday on 10 Tampa Bay, you can watch it online too. We got the show The Blitz. We got Simeon Rice, who joins us every Sunday, and he provides awesome analysis, not only on the field, but with fashion and other stuff. We kind of throw stuff out there. He keeps it, as he says, he keeps it a buck every time. So his honesty is unbelievable. And but yeah, that's my prediction. Bucks win. They don't cover.
And Simeon Rice could probably still play today. That dude's in great condition.
He does look in great shape, yeah.
Absolutely yoked.
Yeah. Okay, that wraps up this edition of the Locked On Rays podcast. Now, tell your smart device to play the most recent episode of the Locked On Bets podcast. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you